Hey, what's up, you amazing hackers? Let me tell you about how my evening went, because today I went bug bounty hunting, which is something that I didn't do in quite a while. Of course, I went some bug bounty hunting, but not like tonight. I spent quite a few hours on it, like maybe 4 or 5 hours. And it all started out pretty good because I have quite a lot of private invites laying around from Integrity. So I decided to pick some of them up and just to investigate some of them. And one of them actually gave you an account, and not just one account, but it gave you two accounts of different access levels as well. So you could do some cool stuff in there. So I went in, I got my account, I started testing as I usually do. And the first thing I do, of course, is test every single field that I see for cross-site scripting, which is just a single quote, then a double quote, and then the less than sign, and then an image HTML tag. And then I just put some random crap behind there for later on. And I paste that into every single field that I see. Now, this didn't yield me anything, no cross-site scripting in there. So then I went on to the next one, which is broken access control. Now, I test broken access control on iDoors sometimes like intermediately, but I have to know the functionality first. So, of course, I just clicked around a little bit on the application first, wanted to get to know it a little bit better, and that's what I did. So when I did get to know it a little bit better, that was really, really cool, because there I found like you could create users, different users. You could assign them to a user level. And that's my forte. I love that kind of thing. So that's what I did. I started hunting on that. I created different users. And then I noticed that if I was a user of a lower privilege level, that I could edit my own account. So simple as that, but I didn't see the same fields that I saw that the administrator saw. So the administrator, he had the possibility to assign a user level, a different user group to a specific user. But if that user went to their own profile and they were of lower privilege, they could not. They could only see their own data. So what I was thinking is, okay, there has to be just some fields in the request that are different between the administrator and the low privileged user, because they're seeing the exact same UI, but it just seems that the administrator is able to send some extra fields that the normal lower privileged user does not have. Now, imagine if I was able to set that lower privileged user, if I was able to send that parameter along with my own, like with low privilege user, and change his own account level from low privilege user to administrator. That would have been pretty cool. So I went on to testing, and it seemed to work at first because I added the specific group ID parameter, but then it came out blank. So it just returned 200 status code, but it didn't actually change anything. So I was a little bit disappointed after that, but I didn't fear. I went on. I started testing for iDoors between the different accounts, and I set up authorize, but authorize was not working. I don't know why, but I couldn't get authorize to work, which was very, very confusing to me, because normally it should just work. It was just replacing cookies, which is just a header replacement, very simple. Didn't work. So, okay, then I was like, what do I do now? I can either stop testing for iDoors, or I can go at it manually. So what I was, of course, I just went at it manually. I don't stop testing for iDoors. That's not me. So what I did is I just opened up a normal browser and an incognito browser, and I just logged in as an administrator in the normal browser and as a low priv user in the incognito browser. And then I just copy and pasted URLs over to see if I can get any iDoors on really simple things like just get requests. Just copy and paste iDoors, copy and paste URLs to see if I have any iDoors in there, but also broken access control. Of course, I go to specific functionality with the high privileged user that I should not be able to see as a low privileged user. So then I just copy that URL for the high privileged user's browser and I paste it in the low privileged user's browser. And if I don't see permissions denied, then I know that I have to investigate. Should I be able to see this or not? And if I'm not supposed to be able to see this, then I know that I have a broken access control issue. So that's how I test. I must have copied about 1,000, 2,000 URLs before one finally hit. I was able to see something as a low privileged user, which I should not be able to see. It was a very simple setting. Well, very simple. I shouldn't be able to see it at any rate. And then I was like, okay, I can see this, but I also have a save button here. I tried saving it and it saved, and that's where I reported my IDOR. You're able to save a setting of yourself that you're not supposed to be able to change. Now, I would consider it like maybe a low, medium priority vulnerability. It's not a lot, I know, but it doesn't have to be a critical every single time. And it can take a long time. I was hunting for a couple of hours, just copying and pasting URLs over and seeing which ones fired and which ones didn't. It took me quite a while to finally find some that actually worked. It took me like a couple of hours, 2,000-3,000 requests even. And even just that wasn't the only thing I was doing, because I was also going into Burp Suite and I was going manually replacing the cookies on post requests, on put requests, because of course you cannot simply test post and put requests in a Chrome browser. You can do it in Firefox browser, but it's very cumbersome. I prefer to do it in Burp Suite itself. And what I did is I clicked on something as a high privileged user. I sent that request to the repeater, and then I just replaced the cookie with the cookie of the low privileged user. Now you guys keep asking me, Uncle Rat, why do you keep replacing these cookies? What is all of this cookie juggling good for? Because in production, if I am a specific user, I am not going to be able to grab somebody else's cookies. You guys are completely right about that. That's not what this is about. It's not about grabbing those cookies. I only use those cookies because that's the only thing that's universally replaceable in every single request. If you replace a user identifier, you can replace that user identifier, but later on you will also need to maybe replace a document identifier. You might need to replace an address identifier. There's so many things you can replace. Those things are not universally replaceable. But if I replace my header every single time, I am testing the right thing, at least if I replace my headers correctly. But that's a different question, of course. So that was a little bit about my evening. I hunted a little bit. I found some bugs, at least one bug. It was really exciting to hunt a little bit more, but I'm going to get into it even more. I'm still going to hunt a little bit more after you're recording this video, of course. That's the thing as well about a target. You're never really done with a target. Some of you guys have asked me, how long do you spend on a target? Well, there's two categories, well, even three categories. When you ask me how long do you spend on a target, it really depends. Do I like the target? Because the moment I see something about a target that I don't like, I switch off. I completely switch off and pick a new target. Then there's also the targets that I do like. And of course, there's not super much of them. I filter quite a lot of them out of there. There's maybe 10, 20 targets I like in total. There's the targets which I will spend a lot of time on and which I will not find any bugs on. If I haven't found any bugs for a couple of days, I will move on. But if I do find bugs on my target, I will keep on there as long as I have to, until I found everything that there is to find. So that was a little bit about my evening. How was your evening? Tell me about it in the comment below, guys. I'm really interested. Did you do some bug hunting? Did you do some hacking? Did you do some practicing? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys out so much. You guys are freaking amazing. I will see you later. Bye, amazing hacker.